Conventional. Conventional is another of the passive defensive styles, and essentially conventional is about a need to blend in, to appear normal, and be concerned with adhering to rules and procedures. So the more you describe yourself as highly conventional, the more concerned you are with established protocols, with established rules, with procedures, and in effect doing things by the book. So this concept of convention, a convention by definition is a rule. People who are highly conventional in their thinking and behaviour put a considerable effort into blending in and appearing normal. So they have some definition of normal, and they'll put considerable effort into behaving in such a way. So therefore, of course, if anybody isn't normal, they're extremely difficult for the conventional person to understand. So the cost at the individual, group and organisational levels, in fact, to conventional, is that it diminishes creativity, it diminishes innovativeness, it diminishes problem solving, and it diminishes new experience. I'll give you an illustration of conventional. This is a real life story of a chap that I worked with some years ago when I was doing a considerable amount of work with a police organisation. Now those sort of paramilitary police organisations generally tend to attract relatively conventional people. But this was a police training officer, and we were travelling around the country doing presentations, etc. And we stayed in this fairly small provincial city in a motel that required us to sort of walk down the hill into the town to dinner. And as we walked down the hill to have dinner together that night, we passed a Japanese restaurant. Now, I love Japanese food. I said, let's go in there. His response was, oh, I don't like that Japanese food. I said, what do you mean you don't like Japanese food? It's outstanding. What don't you like about it? He said, oh, all that raw fish and stuff. Right? And I said to him, have you ever tried it? This was the conventional. No. So if you haven't tried it, how do you know you don't like it? So I struck him a deal. I said, look, why don't we go in here and have a crack? I'll shout you dinner. If you don't like it, they small meals anyway, so I'll eat yours. And I'll take you to a meat and veggie restaurant and shout you dinner again if you don't like it. Do you know, that guy took me back to the Japanese restaurant the next night. That's the reality of conventional thinking. It limits your experience to what's tried and true. And so the more we have that going within an organisation, within a group, and in fact at that individual level, the less we experiment, the less we try new things, the more we tend to just keep doing things the way we've always done them. And as you watch the program and watch the conventional behaviour, in the individual scenes, it's about don't rock the boat.
Someone's got to keep the standards up.
It's about are we doing okay in terms of what we're supposed to do here, in terms of the rules and the procedures. And let's stay away from anything that we might deem as slightly risky. Right? When we look at the conventional behaviour in the group scenes, it's really about let's not rock the boat, let's not upset anybody, let's just keep everything as the way it is. So conventional is very much status quo oriented. It's a very common form of behaviour, but it's very self-limiting. So the more we can strive to push that conventional behaviour up into achievement and self-actualising, which is more about creativity, which is more about innovation, which is more about problem solving, then quite clearly the more effective you will be as an individual or your group or your organisation. That's conventional.